and welcome to a new vlog and a video in cooperation with ReiseJung. We're taking a look at the last 2 days on board of our enjoyment cruise with the MS Swiss Crown, the second cruise with this beautiful ship. In this video we are going from Rüdesheim via Königswinter to Cologne, where this cruise is coming to an end. We're starting early in the morning in Rüdesheim, sailing once again through the beautiful Middle Rhine Valley. I woke up around Boppard, then we're sailing past Koblenz, and we're going in the lower Middle Rhine Valley to reach our next stop in Königswinter, where we are visiting the famous Drachenfels, and then in the night we are sailing on to Cologne, where this cruise is then coming to an end. Here you can see the whole route of these 2 days, and we're starting, as I mentioned, shortly after Boppard, where I woke up, and then we were sailing through the beautiful Middle Rhine Valley and the Lower Rhine Valley. As there was a lot of things to do in the morning, some administrational stuff, there was not too much time to film, but it was a beautiful morning. Our guests could enjoy the beautiful view, and during lunchtime we reached our destination Königswinter. There we had our second included excursion. We added those 2 included excursions due to the change of itinerary, and as we already enjoyed this excursion last time, we knew it is the perfect addition to this cruise, and it perfectly fits the motto of enjoyment, because the view from the Drachenfels mountain is just breathtaking and very enjoyable, and that's why we are heading there with the whole group. Here we can see one of the former locomotives. Nowadays the trains are a bit more modern, but still quite old. It is also the oldest rack railway in Germany that is still in use. Already the ride with the rack railway is very beautiful. There's some very nice views, but the view from the top is breathtaking. We're gonna see it in a second, and that's why we're heading to the top. First there is a station in between, close to the Castle Drachenburg. We will see that later on in the video, but first we're going all the way to the top to enjoy the beautiful view. You have a view down to the Siebengebirge, which means 7 mountains, and also down to the Rhine, but we will see that in a second. Here we can see the meeting with the oncoming train in the middle station. At the top, and here our 3 groups had a small guided tour around the top, and then there was some free time, for example, to hike up to the ruins of the old castle and to enjoy this amazing view. Here we can see the 7 mountains and the River Rhine, and as I said, this time there was also enough time to head up to the ruins. There was not enough time last time, but this time we had a bit more time at the top, so of course I hiked up there because the view from there is even better. Here we can see the Upper Rhine Valley. We can also see our beautiful ship a little bit hiding behind the building, and if you look very closely you can even spot the cities of Bonn and Cologne. There's also a restaurant where you can enjoy drinks and food with a very nice view, also quite modern restaurant where you can order food and drinks via a QR code, so it's much faster than a regular restaurant, and you can also see the beautiful small islands down in the River Rhine. But then it was time to head back down. We're heading to the middle station now. We were the last group. All groups were taking different trains. We were taking the last train, so we had the most time at the top, and now we're heading down to the Castle Drachenburg, which we also visited last time when we were here with the River Diamond, but we were very impressed by the castle, so we knew it is the perfect addition to this enjoyment cruise as well. There's some very interesting stories about the castle, especially about one of the owners called Mr. Spinat, which means Mr. Spinach in English. So a lot of funny stories you hear before entering the castle. Our guides were giving the information, and then there was time to discover the castle on your own, and now you can do the same here in this video. We walked down back to the ship a bit earlier than the guests, as I wanted to make my ship tour, which of course is ideal when there are no guests on board. It doesn't take too long to walk down. Walking up is quite challenging, but walking down of course is quite easy. Took just a few minutes and then we were already back in the beautiful city center of Königswinter. And then I walked back on board, made my ship tour, and then it was already time for the farewell cocktail and the second gala dinner. Also today the food was amazing. As you can see, the presentation was lovely, the taste was amazing, so the food was absolutely perfect on this cruise. In the evening we did not have any program, but that was not necessary because we had one of the best onboard musicians we ever had on any ship. Maurizio was amazing and we can now listen to him and his music. He was very motivated and there was even a huge crowd dancing, which was not even intended on an enjoyment cruise, but still he was so good that many guests wanted to dance to his music, and now we can also enjoy the music of Maurizio. After a fantastic evening with Maurizio, it was then time to go to sleep, and when I woke up in the next morning we were already docked in Cologne and it was time to say goodbye to my beautiful cabin, and it was also time for one last amazing breakfast before then taking our buses back home. But it was not a farewell forever, as we are coming back on the beautiful Swiss Crown for our New Year's cruise, which is starting on the 27th of December, ending at the 3rd of January 2027. And if you like the concept of the enjoyment cruise, maybe join our next enjoyment cruise, which will be in spring of 2027 from the 26th of March until the 28th of March. There will be a shorter version of the enjoyment cruise with 2 nights over the Easter weekend on a beautiful ship called George Eliot. More information about these cruises can soon be found on reisejung.de. As you can see, the weather was not perfect on our way back home, so we were quite lucky with our cruises, as we had almost always perfect weather, and as soon as we left the ship the weather got pretty bad, so we had the perfect timing. Here we are already back in Frankfurt, so it just takes a couple of minutes to reach Hanau, where we were then leaving the bus, and another successful cruise is coming to an end. But the next cruise is starting soon and it's gonna be a very special one, and in between there are some very interesting train videos. Here you can see when the next one will be uploaded and the name of the song. As always, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link. I hope to see you in my next video or maybe one day on board. As I said, more information on that on reisejung.de.